Yes, there are 3 instances of exclusivity regarding the Sinder situation thus far. There will be chapters in the video, and everything I'll be covering in this video has already been covered, just bringing attention to the 3 instances of exclusivity that are documented in the Google Docs regarding the Sinder situation. So, let's get into it. The first instance of exclusivity that I want to address is Sacramore. Now, if you look closely at Bao's doc, Bao adds a screenshot of Nano and Redacted's convo on January 15th, 2025 at 8:49 p.m. Now, this screenshot that you're seeing on the screen is not included in Nano's doc, but it's part of the conversation that occurred on January 15th, 2025. Here you can see Redacted stating, anonymously in-house, as in will never be credited publicly so no one knows who does this work for Bao, and provides a link to Sacramore status on X, which I actually typed in that link and I got the X post from Sacramore, which is here. Sacramore states, after I finish up 2 more comms for peeps, I'll be shutting down my comms forever and editing anonymously in-house for Bao VTuber. Freelance has been fun and got to work with lots of really cool people, but I'm putting myself in Bao content as my only priorities for the future. I asked to be anonymous since I'd like to separate from being known as a freelancer. And this is a post on December 15th, 2024. So that's the first instance of exclusivity. Now, the second instance of exclusivity I don't think is very well talked about. It's back on Bao's doc. And if we scroll somewhere in here, there it is. It's in regards to Redacted's making the claim about hijacking Sinder and Redacted's YouTube editor, that Bao has been hijacking that YouTube editor. And here, it's one of the things that Redacted said here. And it's in some of the screenshots here, where, right here. On January 15th, 2025, 8:34 p.m., one of the claims Redacted said against Bao is that she hijacked their YouTube editor a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with, yada, yada, yada. So Bao decides to cover this. Now, this is an exclusivity deal between Kaizer, the editor, and Sinder. So Bao goes on to address this. Their YouTube editor, Kaizer, is a mutual YouTube channel editor for myself and Sinder. My channel manager Jude and I asked Kaizer for 1 stream highlight per month, as we are aware of his extensive position as Sinder's channel manager. I made a point to note this in my inquiry email to him in 2023, which is shown here. Bao management, hi Kaizer, nice to meet you. I was just wondering, watching your stream highlight from me and Sinder's collab, and I really loved your editing style and humor. I was curious if I could request a video edit from you every now and then. If you have any availability, my username is Bao on Discord if you want to chit-chat more there. Thanks again. Kaizer then replies to the email, hi Bao, I'd love to edit a video for you. Just send a friend request on Discord. So that is what she's referring to. Bao then posts a screenshot of a call that she had for 5 hours on March 20th, 2025, 8:32 p.m. And then goes on to elaborate on the call, stating, on March 20th, I started a group Discord call that lasted 5 hours to hang out with my editors. In this group call, Kaizer shared with us that he was afraid to ask Sinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusivity deal. As a friend of both Sinder and Kaizer, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our friendship, as I would never want someone I care about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant I would lose him as an editor. The other editors who were in the call can corroborate this, and this is true. We have Sacramore here, there it is, that reposted Bao's post with her Google Doc and stating, also with the part where Bao references the call, I was one of the people in the call and can confirm that she did say what is stated in the doc. And then we have an additional witness, Jun Mitsui, who states, hello, I am Bao's channel manager, and yes, I was there in the call with Kaizer, Bao, and Sack and Bao. Encouraged Kaizer to take the raise. It was definitely something she thought would be best for him. Bao supported any opportunity or anything that Kaizer would choose to go. So we already have witnesses, so that checks out. That call checks out. Oh. And then goes on to say, I'm sharing this context because there are no words to describe the hurt and betrayal I feel now, knowing that on the other side of this conversation, Sin and Redacted were actively portraying me as a thief and a detriment to their business. I have only ever supported them in their activities, never once thought that I had somehow gotten on their nerves. Now, she can say that about Redacted because the screenshots show Redacted and Nano talking and Redacted saying that. Now, there isn't like conclusive evidence that Cinder says it, and stating that Redacted reflects Cinder's intention 100% is false, because typically managers and talents don't tell each other everything. So there's that. So that's the second instance of exclusivity. Now, here, remember, as a friend to both Sinder and Kaizer, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassure him that it would not change our friendship. So this is an exclusivity deal where she encouraged Kaizer to take it, because she would never want someone she cared about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant she would lose him as an editor. Now, here's where I find something weird. If we go back to Nano's doc, the third instance of exclusivity was, of course, the famous deal that Redacted and Nano had with each other on November 15th, 2025. And a reminder, the screenshots in Nano's doc are completely out of order. So it starts on 6:48 p.m. on January 15th, 2025, and Redacted starts off by saying, I mean, like, if we wanted to have some kind of model exclusivity, what would you need to make that sustainable for you? And Nano entertains the idea by saying, maybe you can share one of your ideas and I can check what I think. And then Nano has an idea, and then proceeds to go into discussing the terms and conditions of the exclusivity deal. And Nano is saying, okay, monthly fee, how long would this be, and if this counts for models I already worked on. And Redacted is setting up the terms and conditions, saying like, no new models or outfits with Silverveil again. Again, if you want to see the uncensored content, you can go to Silverveil's doc. Right now, I'm just focusing on the instances of exclusivity. So Redacted is trying to make it to where Nano doesn't work with as many people out there as she used to, and can get more guaranteed work and possibly more money from Cinder and Redacted. Heck, even Redacted said you'd still be able to work on models' outfits with all your other existing babies, and your artwork comms wouldn't be affected. So it's just lessening the amount of people that can ask Nano for work. Which is, it's not bad. This is a business tactic. But it is bad for Silverveil. And anyway, Redacted keeps going on. And then, mind you, remember, this conversation is here, and then you have to go all the way up here. Because this conversation ends somewhere around 8:05 p.m., and the conversation picks up at this screenshot, which is tampered with, on 8:29 p.m. And then Redacted goes on and rants about people. And then finally, after these three screenshots, we go to the screenshot here, which is after this one. And this is just to show that all the screenshots are out of order regarding the exclusivity deal between Nano and Redacted on January 15th, 2025. So finally, Redacted adds more terms and conditions to it, stating, what about this? We can pay blank for you, and you don't have to discount it from the next payment, and we'll continue giving you lots of model work. Redacted is ensuring that Nano has work to do, meaning guaranteed income. Okay, this is guaranteed income if she complies with the terms and conditions that Redacted has set forth. Saying you don't work with Bow, Blank, or Silver at all again, models are art. And then Nano is saying, is there any way to add a little bit more since Silver still asks for art every now and then? And Redacted basically says, when Silver asks for art, you tell her no, and then they would buy from Nano. So Nano would still get money regardless. And here you can see that the screenshot's tampered with or cropped wrong because that's cut out. But if you go to Bow's message here, you can see that it's not cropped out. If I can find it, here it is. So this is a continuation. So this right here that you see is the rest of the message that's cut out in the screenshot of Nano's doc. In here, Nano literally says the exclusivity is fair. It do be fair, but okay, can I ask for a demon cinder figure? She found it fair. So, this is the exclusivity deal. And not only that, we can kind of see the aftermath of that, because on February 11th, 2025, on Nano's doc, she literally outright says, sorry for stepping back on the exclusivity deal. So, there are two possible things that happen. Nano didn't take the exclusivity deal, which means nothing happened, or she took it and then stepped back from it. Effectively meaning that it didn't happen, like it didn't go through, it fell off. So nothing happened. But I want to make this clear. So I'm going to make the assumption that Nano and Bao are friends, and Sinder is friends with Bao. So they're all in their friend circle, right? So I understand there's a difference between editors and artists. So what confuses me is the fact in Bao's doc, she states that she would never want someone she cared about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant to lose him, like lose them as an editor. So that's for the editor, I guess. But when it came to the artist Nano, I guess things changed. Because here she encouraged her friend to take an exclusivity deal, but then here, when there was an exclusivity deal between Nano and Sinder, she's getting all butthurt about it and claiming that I now realize the reason, or whatever, for Sinder and Redactor were deliberately sabotaging ongoing commission, blocking VTubers such as myself from having access to art from Nano, which is blatantly false with the evidence provided. So, this hasn't been very clear, but I'm going to try and summarize it the best we can, or I can. So first off, this is going to be a summary. First off, the first instance of exclusivity was with Sacramore. And Sacramore wanted to go anonymously in-house because he'd been wanting to focus on his own project since 2025 and spent pretty much all of 2023, 2024 doing a video for others, and was having a lot of people, companies reach out asking him to work with him, and he's not good at saying no to work opportunities. And he wanted to exclusively work from Bao, as shown in the X post. So you can find evidence of the exclusivity with Sacramore on his Google Doc and the X post. Now, the second instance of exclusivity was when Kaizer was brought in. So it's a mutual editor between Bao and Sinder. And here, Bao was on a call with people, like there were editors in the call, like Jun Mitsui, Sacramore, and Kaizer, and Bao. They're all in the call. And she encouraged Kaizer to take the exclusivity deal and reassured him that it would not change their friendship, as she would never want someone she cares about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant she would lose Kaizer as an editor. So that's the second instance of exclusivity, where Kaizer and Sinder have this exclusivity deal going on, and Bao encouraged Kaizer to take the deal. The third and final instance of exclusivity is, of course, the exclusivity deal between Nano and Redacted, as shown on Nano's doc, which apparently, according to a screenshot in Bao's doc, Nano found fair. So there's that, putting that out there. So those are the three instances of exclusivity. So yeah, this is kind of a hodgepodge video. I just wanted to bring up three instances of exclusivity: Sacramore, Kaizer, and Nano. Three instances. And the one thing that throws me off when I look at this is that Bao was fine with encouraging Kaizer, their friend, to take an exclusivity deal with Sinder, but then with Nano, she did a 180, even though they're all friends, and I'm assuming that's the case. So I find that weird, to say the least. With that being said, all the sources used for this video will be in the description below. I encourage you, the viewer, to check out the source so you can come to your own independent conclusion.